Hi, I am Shweta. Welcome to the module on multiple intelligences. In this module, we are going to look at an introduction to multiple intelligences, its implications on children with specific learning disabilities and multiple intelligences in the classroom. Typically, when we talk about intelligence or talk about a person being intelligent, we mean the person is good at taking tests or does very well academically. This view is very limiting considering the human brain is made of a billion neurons or nerve cells making 1,000 trillion connections every day. The capacity of the human brain is truly limitless. The theory of multiple intelligences looks at this human potential in a dynamically different way. It talks about individuals having different intelligences with different competencies and abilities. These abilities are varying and form a unique profile of intelligence, as unique as our thumbprint. We are first going to have an overview of the theory of multiple intelligences, exploring the various intelligences and looking at how it manifests in individuals, after which we will look at its implications on children with specific learning disabilities. The theory of multiple intelligences comes from cognitive and developmental psychology. It was postulated in the 1980s by Dr. Professor Howard Gardner from the Harvard School of Education. The theory talks about everyone being smart in different ways, one way not better than the other. In essence, the theory defines intelligence as the ability to solve problems and create products that are useful to society. So, what are multiple intelligences, or MI as it is often referred to as? Till now, 8 intelligences have been recorded and in popular use. They are linguistic intelligence, musical intelligence, logical mathematical intelligence, spatial intelligence, bodily kinesthetic intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, interpersonal intelligence and naturalist intelligence. Let us take a brief look into each intelligence. Linguistic intelligence. This is the intelligence of authors and poets. People who are high on this intelligence are very effective in the use of words, both spoken and written language. They employ words very effectively in conveying complex messages and are often seen enjoying reading, writing, solving crosswords and engaging themselves with words and languages. Professions related to this intelligence includes authors, poets, journalists and speakers. Musical intelligence. This is the intelligence of musicians and composers. People high in this intelligence are very sensitive to pitch, rhythm and timbre in music. They often sing or play an instrument and can critique music very well. Professions related to this intelligence includes musicians, instrumentalists and music critics. Logical mathematical intelligence. This is the intelligence of mathematicians and scientists. People who are high on this intelligence are very logical in their thought process and reason in a very sequential and organized fashion. They are good with numbers and are good at making related abstractions. Very often you find people who are high on this intelligence going towards professions that include engineering, mathematics and science. Spatial intelligence. This is the intelligence of artists and architects. People who are high on this intelligence have an ability to visualize objects in space and have a very high sense of aesthetics and color. They are often interested in the arts and are seen pursuing careers that include being artists, designers, sailors, scouts and astronomers. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence. This is the intelligence of dancers and sportspersons. People who are high on this intelligence have the ability to use their bodies very effectively. They display natural agility and grace and are very good at manipulating objects with their bodies, both gross and fine motor. Common professions include dancers, swimmers, sports of all kind, sculptors and surgeons. Intrapersonal intelligence. This is the intelligence of philosophers and thinkers. People who are very high on this intelligence have a very clear picture of themselves and are well aware of their strengths and weaknesses. They are self-motivated and display a lot of perseverance and self-control. This intelligence is very essential for people to function successfully, especially to be effective teachers and parents. Interpersonal intelligence. This is the intelligence of statesmen, politicians and social activists. People who are high on this intelligence have exceptional social skills and empathy. They are able to view a situation from another's perspective and is able to offer solutions that are beneficial to all parties concerned. They display a very highly evolved sensitivity to social cues and body language. This intelligence is very essential to be able to function smoothly in society. This intelligence is often seen in effective parents, teachers and HR professionals. Naturalist intelligence. This is the intelligence of naturalists, animal rights activists and environmentalists. People who are high on this intelligence have a keen sensitivity to the environment. They feel for and with nature. They can identify and classify a wide variety of plants and animals and can tend to them well. Professions they often choose include veterinarians, doctors, farmers and energy experts. In everyday life, the intelligences work in harmony quite seamlessly, but if we keenly observe, we can see every intelligence functioning in fascinatingly different ways. Every intelligence has its own way of understanding, processing, remembering and expressing itself, which is why very often we find children who can learn, process, remember and express themselves in one field, but find it very difficult to do the same in another. Generally, we use the linguistic and logical mathematical intelligences to teach and evaluate a child's intelligence, leaving the others untapped. Imagine a room with 8 doors of varying sizes and shapes. We open just 2 and complain there isn't enough light. Opening all doors could lead to more light into the room. As Howard Gardner says, it's not how smart you are, it's how you are smart. Let us look at its implications for the SLD child. When we talk about children with SLD, it is understood that they are bright children who have difficulties with reading, writing, spelling, math or all of the above, in poor academic performance, and the children are often referred to as unintelligent or incompetent. This happens because we have a very restricting view of intelligence as just an ability to pass tests and score well in examinations. Children with SLD have difficulty in understanding and processing information when it is presented to them in the traditional way. Multiple intelligences gives a new approach to teaching these children, exploring all their intelligences. When information is presented to the child in multiple ways, there is a chance that one of these ways appeals to the child, enabling the child to understand and process information using his intelligence. Similarly, when the child is given the opportunity to explore a topic through his dominant intelligence, for example, a spatial child through pictures or a bodily kinesthetic child through hands-on activities, he develops a greater understanding and interest in the subject. This relieves a lot of the stress the child is going through and helps children overcome their fear of certain subjects. When the fear of a failure is removed, they become more receptive to learning and become more enthusiastic and curious students. The opportunity to express himself and create using his dominant intelligence finally gives the child a chance to put out his thoughts in a way that is very meaningful to him. Like Howard Gardner says,
we have schools because we hope that someday when children have left schools that they will still be able to use what it is that they've learned. And there is now a massive amount of evidence from all realms of science that unless individuals take a very active role in what it is that they're studying, unless they learn to ask questions, to do things hands-on, to essentially recreate things in their own mind and then transform them as is needed, the ideas just disappear. The student may have a good grade on the exam, we may think that he or she is learning, but a year or two later, there's nothing left. If, on the other hand, somebody has carried out an experiment, himself or herself, analyzed the data, made a prediction and saw whether it came out correctly, if somebody is doing history and actually does some interviewing, himself or herself, oral histories, then reads the documents, listens to it, go back and asks further questions, writes up a paper, that's the kind of thing that's going to adhere, where if you simply memorize a bunch of names and a bunch of facts and even a bunch of definitions, there's nothing to hold on to. The idea of multiple intelligences comes out of psychology. It's a theory that was developed to document the fact that human beings have very different kinds of intellectual strengths, and that these strengths are very, very important in how kids learn, and how people represent things in their minds, and then how people use them in order to show what it is that they've understood. If we all had exactly the same kind of mind and there was only one kind of intelligence, then we could teach everybody the same thing in the same way and assess them in the same way, and that would be fair. But once we realize that people have very different kinds of minds, different kinds of strengths, some people are good in thinking spatially, some people are good in thinking language, other people are very logical, other people need to do hands-on, they need to actually explore actively and to try things out. Once we realize that, then an education which treats everybody the same way is actually the most unfair education, because it picks out one kind of mind, which I call the law professor mind, somebody who's very linguistic and logical, and says, if you think like that, great. If you don't think like that, there's no room in the train for you.